Greetings and welcome. This is Psychic Medium Roberto, and I truly hope you're doing well. Welcome to Intuitive Sundays, episode 37, motherfuckers. I'm recording this for the record September 13, late evening. So we're going to go through into the 14599. The 145 from a spiritual point of view, will bring in a measure of mediumship. The number 145 is about the medium. Let's just get some dirty laundry out the way. Trigger warning: the subject matter is of a mature nature and deals with true crime events and world events. Disclaimer: all cases, names, people are treated as alleged. Allegedly. How's Mr. Tom Hanks? Did we see all of a sudden he's not getting his military award? All cases will be treated and people allegedly until proven in their court of law. Now, I just want to say with 3710-1, my God, this thumbnail, I must just say, has changed tremendously over the last 24 to 48 hours. And good old Peter Lynch is still in the show, so we will be looking at his case as well, out of the UK side. Donald Trump will be London side next week, right? We'll do a forecast and see what's whose hands he's going to be shaking and what tiptoeing and dancing he's going to be doing around town. I see that he was going to be there for like a 2-day in and out. Now it's only going to be like a 1.5 1 day. And of course, this week, the tragic assassination of Charlie Kirk. Well, since doing the show, those poor young kids. Now, we can only imagine what their future will be like. And I'm not talking about that they're going to get taken care of in terms of financial or whatever. Well, I hope they're going to be. But in terms of the psychology. Faith, and no disrespect to the faithful. Be careful what you're faithful to. Just doesn't cut it for me. And I've been meditating over the past 2 to 3 days. And when you're dealing with things like mental health, and of course what his kids and wife and everyone is going through, America in particular, and in particular his people, we are taking, as let's say human beings as we know ourselves. This is not an AI generated gobsmack. That in this week particular, but we can say in general, let's be fair, in general, we're dealing with the 1% of the bullshit happening in the world, right? And just when you think it can't get any better or it can't get any worse, or just like, when is the shit going to stop, right? 3710-1 is quite a mighty number. Now, let's just be fair. In the regular, it's a very powerful number. But when you're dealing with politicians with deep pockets and short hands, and things get muddled in the courtrooms. Oh, don't worry, sir. Your 30-odd, 40 billion that you have to pay in whatever the deal, whatever the thing was, is dropped by the courts. 37.10.1. When your fellow Americans, and there's a part of me that loves Americans and America, but fuck me as the other half. Well, they're all the same. Is exactly what someone mentioned in the comments recently. Everyone's actually the same. Just the puppet show, left, right, and we'll just squeeze some independence just to give people the independent freedom. And then Elon Musk and his one supporter with his All America team or whatever Elon Musk created. Be that as it may, corruption. Peter, forthright advocate by the seams of things, fighting the system. The hoax and pokes, royal motherfuckers, the 10 ones of the world, the elite. The ritualistic calendar, the one that I have, and I must tell you, it's worse than a horror movie. I read again, for example, what was taking place around September the 7th. Let me have a sip of the old tea. Thank God there's a variety of brands of tea these days, right? We have corruption at the pinnacle of society. And you say, that's not unusual, is it? I made a startling discovery over the past 24 hours while digging deeper in the Charlie assassination. Some of my research led me to, let's have a look at the Declaration of Independence. And then I realized, of course, it's the date I've always been using for America, right? But we've never done the 369 on the Declaration of Independence. So July 4th, 1776. We have the 7, the 4, which gives us the 11-2. We have a 21-3 in the year position, 21-3. Not the best number to have. It's a little bit, I mean, we can take it on the literal odd number. It's an odd number. It's not a rounded, smooth number. There may have been a compromise that was made, I believe, interestingly, because if you've been watching the Ancient Portal series, someone said, Roberto, what's this got to do with Charlie? Well, let's look behind the curtain of the shop window of our great United States to see what exactly is happening behind the window. So we got a 32.5, 23.5, 14.5 as the outcome. All right, so we're familiar with those numbers if you've been watching the channel. And for all those that have been watching, blessings and gratitude to you. The long stayers, thank you. I still see you, some of your comments around. Thank you very much. In the intention, now, I wasn't aware, and I don't want to sound like I don't know my history, but how much history can you take in of the world as in time as we know it, right? Or their history that they have planted in the textbooks and the Wikipedias of the world. there were a number of states, not all the 50. There was like a group of states. But what I found interesting was power was being relinquished by the British. The British. Motherfuckers have been everywhere, right? Even in the United States, had control of the United States. Now, we know the 50 outcome 5 is in the UK, right? Revealed in the time capsule, our great, as we knew her, Princess Diana, the great Diana, revealed in her time capsule, one piece that I looked at, one piece, 50 outcome 5. Demons. Now, interestingly, in the intention, I'm not necessarily saying that's the case here. I'm saying demon horde belongs in UK as we know it. And of course, we see it in Rome as well, right? In the intention, America, 7 + 7 conflict. So we can always say, if we look at the states currently, let's look at it contemporary times, right? We can say Democrats versus Republicans, beg your pardon. I'm not a politics scientist. So you got leadership, 7-7. We can say in the early days, Trump round 2 versus Biden out, not even at the first round. He was out at debate 0 or debate 1. So you can say clash of leadership, because in the main we can say America's, the independents, do they get like one seat like the guy that's, is it Kennedy, if I'm not mistaken, that's doing medical or health, that side? I don't want to get into trouble with American politics, but so we have a 7 + 7 conflict here. Okay, we can say it's a natural conflict, but it's a leadership conflict. If you want to get religious, because have you noticed around the whole Charlie thing, and yes, he stood up for Christianity and the Bible and so on. But we find with the 7 + 7, we can say there's a conflict amongst gods. Interesting. I know I'm going to just show you something quickly, but before I show you, in the past, from my personal perspective, from the past month or 2, 3 months, trying to figure out when it actually started. I believe it actually, the terminology in the media started, I believe, New Year's Eve onwards, right? So after the New Year's Eve incident in New Orleans, there was a certain narrative being interwoven into narratives when bad situation happens, right? So, for example, the one I'm particularly referring to is America as the experiment, the big experiment. Now that's quite interesting. Yes, they say the big experiment is related to the Declaration of Independence. But that's the shop window, man. But behind the scenes, when we speak about the big experiment, we can say, for example, if you want to stretch the imagination, the Matrix gave us an example of an experiment. And all the different experiments that are going on, right? It was mentioned in the Matrix. The big experiment talking about God conflicts. Coming up a little bit later, we might even jump there earlier than expected, but I want to share with you Fox News. And you say, why is this related? I've just been observing TMZ and Fox coverage of the Kirk incident. So I had a look at their date of births and to see what we can find there. In the Fox News, we found also a 7+7 conflict. Fox News also has a 7+7 conflict. Fox News also has a 10-1-10-1 conflict. Now, why is 10-1-10-1 an issue? Well, who are the 10-1s, we say? If you've been watching the channel regularly, the 10-1s are the elites. The elites, 10-1. And what do we find in the +6 of the Declaration of Independence? Headed by the 10-1. We find the 10-1 present right here in these United States. 10-1. Why is that important? Is it relevant? The day Charlie goes down, the day Charlie is taken out, the day he was silenced, headed by the 10-1. In the middle of the +6, what do we find, ladies and gentlemen? 17-8. Another significant number that we've been tracking since New Year's Eve. We find it here in the middle of the action, 17-8. Now remember, hidden 17-8, hidden 10-1. You recall in many of these episodes, all the 11s, the 38 11s, the 47, here's all the 11s here in the +6. All the 2s, 11 2s, 20 outcome 2, 20 outcome 2. That's not good. So 20 outcome 2. This is the water one. If we tie in the Helena hurricanes, Milton hurricanes, we found there's a 20 outcome 2, there's a 30 outcome 3, there's a 40 outcome 4. So United States linked to, by the looks of it, and this is the first time I'm seeing this and getting vibes, water. We remind ourselves of the disputed Gulf of, depending on what side of the fence you're on. So now we find in all is revealed in the +9, hidden 20 outcome 2. So we got a 13-4 at the start of the day. New beginnings, the new experiment called these United States of America. New beginnings. 11-2. So 21-3. So when I mentioned earlier the 21-3, because now it needs to be further tested, I would imagine, but because the UK, the abomination Babylon, a very present Babylon site, the UK, and well, the United States as well, and Rome, all the metropoles all over the world, right? Who's fooling who? 21-3, 21-3, I wonder what the compromise would have been. And if we know the UK, if we flip the dark optics, there must be some offerings every now and then, I would imagine. And it's just so, I was reminded just moments before starting to record, and I'm the last one to blow my own trumpet. It's not my style. But when I was looking at the moon episode, I mentioned there, what would be the ultimate sacrifice? Because we've just gone through this heavy, ritualistic portal sequence. Here's it here. In fact, let's maybe, this wasn't actually intended, but let's have a look. You see, Charlie's event day. When did he go? 10th. In the moon episode. Let me just also say, let me just take a sip of juice. Tea, I meant. And as I'm making these discoveries, I'm startled myself. There's times before I record that I go through like the oh my fuck, or wow, or oh my god, or cry, or whatever. I never looked at the Charlie situation as we're about to look at it, and it's just struck me, yeah. Right. September the 7th, however their bullshit works, right, was in their calendar a very significant, it's like their fucking Christmas, whatever, or Easter, whatever you want to call it. We find Charlie's sequence in line with September the 7th. The day Charlie goes down falls within the September 7 ritual sequence. And it's just in that episode, whatever it means. And I don't even know why I said it. What would be the ultimate sacrifice? And yes, I was leaning towards Trump, but I was picking up Trump vibes. And I asked in that episode, What would be the ultimate what sacrifice would be the ultimate sacrifice for this particular occasion? If you think about it, we had Trump went missing for 7 days, eh? And I felt over the past 48 hours, maybe I need to investigate that week and to see what I can pick up. But having a look here, and it made me wonder, because I kept on getting the sense of two, right? Two. So was the Trump we knew before the announcement that space, whatever, is going to wherever? Because that was the beginning of the new narrative, or the new whatever. Pre that, was he one and then Charlie? I don't know. There's all sorts of shit flying around here. And you know, this is all playing out in front of us. The fact that Charlie's wife and these baby children were there. That these 10-1 motherfuckers so interesting when we look at the 369 of the Declaration of Independence. We have a 7+7 leadership conflict. It's the gods. It's the God conflict. But ultimately, the ones ruling the roost. Once again, here's it right here. I'm just looking at the ingredients. 10-1. 17-8. Don't you think it's interesting if you're watching the visual part, right? On Charlie's chart here, there's a picture of the flip. I didn't write the perp's name. Was it Tyler? Don't you think his mugshot looks very similar to the guy from Kennedy's assassination, Oswald? Looks very similar. We've got Kennedy's numbers here, the day he was taken out. There's a couple of numbers I'm going to show you, right? And so on the day, November 22nd, 1963, well, the day starts with the 22-4. What I do want to show, and that's new information for me, I'll process it as we go, but what I wanted to point out, in the day when the unfortunate situation goes down, right? Hidden, 33-6. Hidden, 24-6. I'm going to show that for now. We'll come back for more because obviously there were multiple people involved, but I'm just going to show one of them for now. When we go to Charlie's assassination, we find the 33-6. We find the hidden 24-6. When we go to FBI, hidden 33-6. Everyone also has the 15-6. 33-6, 24-6, 15-6. All these numbers are sitting at the doorstep of the night before. There's some whether the FBI, whoever, is feeding pockets of video and audio information. So in other words, over time they will release this. Of course, we can say there's certain video and audio that has been withheld, not for public consumption, because it forms part of the case and significant in prosecuting the case, let's say, right? That would be the legitimate response, right? But for example, would someone who planned an assassination, for example, would they run to the end of the building and only then realize, well, maybe that's the only way down? Was there no pre-planning? Was this just on a whim? That was there a ladder and then it was gone? It just seems odd that if you're going to go for this big, mighty situation, you would at least think of a step ladder or an escape route. Unless his original plan got foiled and then he had to divert to the, jump over, whatever. That just strikes me as odd. Interestingly, when we look at the intention of the FBI, right, we find there's an 18-9 portal sequence, 18-9 plus 18-9 conflict, plus we find 3 18-9s in the first two rows. In the action of the FBI, hidden 39-12-3, that is mass control, super control, and is controlling of communities. At a political level, 57-12-3, and national level, 48-12-3. And these numbers are very similar to CIA. Everyone always remarks whether it's the FBI or CIA, you're speaking to the same people, right? This is a big concerning number for me. In the +9 of the FBI, in the +9 outcome, 60, 60, outcome 6. 60 is outcome 6. which is about mass population control. Wow. That's like those movies you see of police states, hard crackdowns. So we see all of those numbers in the action the day before Charlie's event. And in the real, we find all the 18 nines, 27 9, 18 nines the day before, all perched, waiting at the front door, if you will. But as far as I understand it, there were only campus security there, right? So why is the FBI there? And the FBI there is before everyone. That's interesting. We find the 33-6, 24-6, 15-6 at the door the night before, waiting. Mr. Patel, FBI puppet director, or I should say directed, or anyway, puppet, 27-9 in the middle, plus 18-9. So he's got conflicts himself here. In his date of birth, 9 plus 9 conflict. So that is like saying, and I don't mean any disrespect to any religion, but in the sake of giving an example or metaphor, well, it's like saying you serve Christianity, but when you go home, you're actually an atheist. It's like a priest goes to the church, but when he takes his robe off, he goes down to the pub and he's doing head banging at the rock club, right? Can you imagine see that? We got 999s. He's got 999s in the first 2 rows here, and a portal sequence. So all these 9s, and what do we see in the actual? The day before, all these 9s. So we've got Patel and FBI numbers all at the door before, the night before. Oh, look here. I didn't see this here. In the intention the day before, unless, I think I may have mentioned, but anyway, the intention the day before, daytime, there's a 21-3. So who was abducted here? Someone, when the thing goes down, the real person is captive, but the other person clad in so much black you can't even see them. Anyway, so someone was held against their will the day before, huh? That is linked to this case. So there's definitely something really off here, still off. And look at all of these operational numbers on the day: 37, 10, 1, 28, 10, 1, 19, 10, 1, 10, 1. Hidden. 37, 10, 1, 28, 10, 1, 19, 10, 1. 37, 10, 1 is the higher ups have been informed Charlie is down. All the higher ups involved in this cloak and dagger motherfucking shit are informed via 28-10-1. The communication goes around. Operation 19-10-1 is complete. what I find extremely disturbing, apart from the obvious, is the phrase that's been used, "we got him." It just doesn't sit well with me. We got him. What do they actually mean by "we got him"? We got the shooter, or we got him? Because him is Charlie. If they say "we got the shooter," wouldn't that make sense? Just from a scripting point of view. You know them Fox types and TMZ types. Oh, by the way, TMZ, oh, okay, so in the real, November 8, 2005, TMZ. You ask, why am I looking at this? Well, when I looked at when I was looking for footage and researching, I believe they were one of the first ones out with this particular video footage. CCTV footage catches the alleged perp leaving the scene, right? Limping. Came out quite quick. And it's also owned by Fox. Why is Fox so important? Well, because Fox, if you're going to fill the left pocket, they can do whatever they can for you. We'll get there. TMZ, their main thing, 1910-1. 1910-1, 17-8, rah-rah, the shows, the social gossip bullshit. 1910-1 is planting the seed. 1910-1 is planting the seed. It's the inception. So when we're looking in media now, we're looking in media, numbers in media. 1910-1, 9 is the idea. What is the singular idea that is going to be sent out to the masses? In the intention, yes, 13-4-24. Oh, well, maybe not too good. Because if you're reporting in the real, so in other words, factual, okay. Well, let's say if they were to be factual, entertainment, tabloid news, right? 13-4 and 22-4 is not. So we actually see it. The correct number is in the action, 16-7. But there's a conflict next to it, 25-7. 16-7 is journalism. In the media space, 16-7 journalism, but there's a conflict, 25-7. You see, that's dodge already. Then in the first two rows, there's 3 sevens in the action of TMZ. There's something very... So what they say they do is not what they do. Because in the intention, 13-4-22-4, scripted reality. Scripted reality. And in the intention as well, there's an 11-2 conflict. Masonry, white privilege. You'll recall 2 days before the Idaho 4 students event, 2 or 3 days before, we found an 11-2 plus 11-2 conflict. Masonry. About to have some tea. Masonry, huh? See how Donald Trump always sits with his hands folded downwards. 29-11-2. Oh. You see, the community member pointed out, yes, they wave the red flag, wave the blue flag. But at the end of the day, they all drink from the same skull, 2911-2, the Skull and Bones community. 14-5, they love the fodder. 14-5, let's feed the masses garbage. Scripted garbage to plant an idea. They can destroy people, 32-5. Hidden, 28-10-1. Hidden message with these guys. Hidden message. Well, there's definitely no signs of up and up media numbers there. Like, legit. Here in the Fox, October 7, 1996, we got a 777 conflict as well in the first two rows. The numbers 7, journalism that is meant to be like the number, is out of chaos here in Fox as well. Fox, 42-6. Nothing like broadcasting immoral behavior. If you don't give us that interview, we'll get TMZ to spill the shit on you, right? 42-6. Wow, yeah. So in the intention of Fox, we find a 10-1-10-1 conflict. Which ironically gives us the outcome 20, outcome 2 hidden, 11-2, which is also the American number. So this is the national broadcaster of them people. Hidden groups, 23-5, 14-5. Oh, look here, ladies and gentlemen. 48-12-3, 39-12-3 in the action. The network and octopus tentacles are running through everywhere. When you have the cabal 10-1, they have fingerprints and paw prints all over the place. Arena. Now let's just go through her numbers as we know it, right? August 22, 2025. She's leaving her part-time work or work in the evening, and she's going home via train when she sits down and allegedly this guy here stabs her. According, we see it in the video, the whole thing, right? Oh, look at the day before. We've got the American independence numbers, 29-11-2, 38-11-2, 20 outcome 2-11-2. And we find at the start of that day, 22-4. What's going on here? So in the zone where Arena goes onto the train, we see a 39-12-3, 21-3, 12-3. There's other problems here. Jeez, this would probably require another this is probably another tentacle. But the same numbers, the same issue numbers for Charlie, right? Let me verify that. In Charlie, the day Charlie event, there's something going on here, ladies and gentlemen. In the intention of Charlie's day, right? 31-4, 22-4, 13-4, hidden 22-4, 13-4. Arena in the turnaround, including, because it happens in the evening, I include the next two rows of the next day. We see 31-4, 13-4, 40 outcome 4, 22-4, 13-4. I will test the theory for the villain with regards to schizophrenia, and he may have had a mental issue. I'll test it. We see in the +1 day, still in the turnaround, 26-8-8 conflict. This would be an indication of mental disorder here. My only issue with that is, if it was the day before or on the day, then I'd say that could be a mitigating factor, right? Because he's actually having the episodes the day before, as his sister or relative was saying, having the episode the day before or on the day, maybe still feeling the effects of it. But what it's saying here is that it happened after the fact. So that's a little bit off. So yeah, 27. So there is something here in the action. So this would be the evening, 27. Well, it would be the early hours of August 21. There is evidence here of some kind of disorder going on here. But I don't think it's pertaining to the mental health. I'm seeing it doesn't make sense to me, okay, but I'll just say it. It's like is there another operation going on, or something goes wrong? Operation, I mean the clandestine ones, right? Because we have a 28-10 1 year. That 28-10 1 is not a individual chitter-chatter. And in the after the fact, we see evidence of a 19-10 1 and a hidden 37-10 1. So there appears to have been, I'm going to say it's more than meets the eye, of course. And interestingly, the day before in the action, this was maybe, so we are saying that with these 999s and this chaos here, there could be issues mentally. I don't believe it's the mental side, it is operational side. These are all Russia's numbers here. 44-8, 26-8, 17-8-8, that's Russia. I've just been shown here as well. The day before, in the +9, we find 38-11-2, 47-11-2, 20 outcome 2, 11-2. All is revealed in the day and the evening of the event, 39-12-3, 48-12-3, 21-3, 12-3. This is war related because we find I always pick this up with Ukraine, 32-5, and the war between Ukraine and Russia, 32-5. There's more there's more to this than meets the eye. Was she more than just a worker at a local store? There's definitely more behind the story. I'm going to wait for during the week regarding Tyler. Let's see how the hearing goes. Oh, the hearing's on Tuesday, or his first arraignment is on Tuesday. How we doing on time? I feel like my brain's already frying. 9:13 is what we are now. So that makes so Tuesday, yeah. Interesting, we have the similar numbers around when everything happened. Okay, I'm going to leave Tyler until we get, I need more information. Peter is laughing at me. Last seen alive, October 18, 2024, he had been imprisoned for protesting against the corrupt British government. I will say the day ends with an 18-9. That is not self-harm. Then midnight of that evening before sunrise, there's an operation going on, 19-10-1-10-1. In fact, what we find in the midnight, in the dark hours of humanity, we find a 10-1-10-1 conflict, which is the rotten government doesn't want Peter protesting about their corruption. We find revealed big operation 37-10-1, 28-10-1, 19-10-1. Whatever happened here was illegal and unlawful. 11-2. And by the 10-1s. There's something bothering me about this 20 outcome 2 with him. Is it like what happened to Peter is maybe sending a message to all those that are also, apologies, I haven't delved into what he was protesting about. But certainly to die in custody of your own government while you're protesting about the immigrants. So in my opinion, in the case of Peter Lynch, this was not self-harm by any means. In the +3, the outcome is a 14-5. Foul play. In the +6, we find a 17-8. Homicide. Not 16-7, 17-8. There's the numbers. Yeah, 38-11-2, 29-11-2. Even the courts themselves are breaking the law. And what did Bansky with his new painting? Did we see it outside the magistrate? Overnight, September 7, September 8. The courtroom beating down on protesters. That's why when we say in the beginning, all cases, names, people are treated as alleged until proven in their court of law. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a week. May Charlie rest in peace. And may them 10-1 motherfuckers die. I don't know if I can say that. May them 10-1s die now. Bye for now.